Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Share Experience. We have solved 3 problems in the last video on bills of exchange. If you guys have not watched that video, please do watch it now. In this video, we will solve 4 more problems on bills sent for collection and dishonor of bills. I have taken the question number 11, 15, 18 and 22 from T.S. Grewal textbook. Our first problem is Mohan Singh draws a bill on Jagat for 1000 payable 2 months after date. Immediately after its acceptance, Mohan Singh sends the bill to his bank for collection. On due date, bank gets the payment. Make the entries in the books of all the parties. The question says Mohan Singh draws a bill on Jagat for 1000 payable 2 months after date, which means Mohan Singh is the drawer and Jagat is the drawee. Bill period is 2 months. We are asked to make the entries in the both the parties, that is Mohan Singh and Jagat. First entry in Mohan Singh's book is bills receivable account debtor to Jagat. If you notice, the date is not given in the problem. In this case, we don't have to mention the date. Here bills receivable is an asset. Whenever asset is increasing, we need to debit it. Jagat is a debtor. Debtors are assets. Here asset is decreasing, so we credit it. In other words, bills receivables are assets and they are coming into our business. The rule is debit what comes in. Jagat is our giver. As per the personal account rule, we will credit the giver. Entry in Jagat's book is Mohan Singh debtor to bills payable account. Mohan Singh is a creditor. Creditors are liabilities. When liability decreases, we debit it. Bills payables are also liabilities. Whenever liability increases, we credit it. In the question, it says that immediately after its acceptance, Mohan Singh sends the bill to his bank for collection. So, entry in the Mohan Singh's book is bills sent for collection account debtor to bills receivable account. We are creating a new account here, which is called bills sent for collection account. Since Mohan Singh has sent the bill for collection, we are transferring the amount from bills receivable account to bills sent for collection account for time being. So, bills sent for collection account is also an asset. When asset increases, we debit it. In the bills receivable account, the amount is decreasing because we have transferred the amount to bills sent for collection account. When asset decreases, we credit it. There won't be any entry in Jagat's book because Mohan Singh is sending the bill for collection. Jagat is not involved here and he will pay the bill amount on the due date to bank. The last part of the question states, on the due date, bank gets the payment. That means Jagat has paid the money to the bank on the due date. So the entry in Mohan's book is bank account debtor to bill sent for collection account. Here Mohan Singh's bank account is credited by bank. So Mohan Singh's bank balance is increasing. Bank is an asset. When asset increases, we debit it. And we are crediting to bill sent for collection account because there won't be anything left in the bill sent for collection account after receiving the bill amount from the bank. Here asset is decreasing. Whenever asset decreases, we credit it. Entry in Jagat's book is bills payable account debtor to bank account. We know that bills payables is a liability and it is decreasing here. So we debit it and he is paying the amount to bank through his bank account. So we are crediting bank account. Our second problem is on 1st January 2019, X sold goods to Y for 25,000 and immediately received from Y 10,000 by check and do a bill on Y at 3 months for the balance amount. Bill is accepted by Y. Bill was dishonored on the due date and Y paid 150 as noting charges. 10 days later, Y pays the due amount to X pass the journal entries in the books of both the parties. A question states, on 1st January 2019, X sold goods to Y for 25,000. So X becomes drawer and Y becomes drawee. Later it says, immediately received from Y 10,000 by check and drew a bill on Y at 3 months for the balance amount. That means the total bill amount is 25,000. In that X received 10,000 by check. So the balance amount will be 15,000. For this 15,000, X drew a bill on Y at 3 months. They have asked us to make the entries in books of both the parties. X sold goods to Y for 25,000. The first entry in X books is Y debtor to sales account. Amount is 25,000. Date is 1st January 2019. Here Y is a debtor. Debtor balance is increasing. That means asset is increasing. So we will debit it. And sales is an income. When the income increases, we credit it. Entry in Y's books is purchase account debtor to X. Amount is 25,000. Purchase is an expense. When expense increases, we debit it. And X is a creditor. Creditor is a liability. When liability increases, we credit it. Next, X has received 10,000 by check from Y. The entry for this in X books is bank account debtor, bills receivable account debtor to Y. Here, X received 10,000 out of 25,000 by check from Y. So this 10,000 should be debited to bank account. Bank is an asset. Asset balance is increasing. So we debit it. After receiving 10,000, for the balance amount, that is 15,000, X has received bills receivable. So bills receivable is an asset and asset is increasing. So we debit it. And Y is our debtor. Debtor balance is decreasing. So we credit it and the amount is 25,000. For the same transaction, entry in Y's books is X debtor to bank account to bills payable account. Here Y is paying to X. X is a creditor to Y. Creditor is a liability. When the liability decreases, we debit it. Amount is 25,000. Y has paid 10,000 to X by check. So Y's bank balance is decreasing. So we credit it. Then bills payable is a liability. Y is yet to pay 15,000 to X. Here liability is increasing. So we credit it. Later in this question it says that the bill was dishonored on the due date and Y paid 150 as noting charges. Bill is drawn on 1st January 2019. The bill period is 3 months. 3 months from 1st January is 1st Feb, 1st March and 1st April plus 3 days grace period. So the due date is 4th April 2019. When the bill is dishonored, the acceptance entry which we passed earlier will be reversed. So the entry is Y debtor to bills receivable account. In the problem, it says that Y paid 150 as noting charges, which means a drawer, that is X, has approached notary public and paid 150 noting charges to send the notice to Y for dishonoring the bill. X will collect this 150 from the drawee, that is Y, later. Since X is paying the noting charges, his cash or bank balance is decreasing. So we credit it. Now we will update the amounts. For Y, the amount is 15,150. 15,000 is the bills receivable amount and 150 is the noting charges. For bills receivable, the amount is 15,000. And for cash account it is 150. The entry in Y's book is bills payable account debtor, noting charges account debtor to X. Y has to pay the bills payable amount plus noting charges amount to X. Here also we have reversed the previous entry, that is X debtor to bills payable account. Now it is bills payable account debtor to X. Noting charges is the extra amount that Y has to pay. along with bills payable amount. For bills payable, amount is 15,000. Noting charges, amount is 150. And amount payable to X is 15,150. Last part of the question says 10 days later Y paid the due amount to X. Bills of exchange due date was over. So bill of exchange entry is already cancelled when the bill got dishonored. Y paid the amount after 10 days. That means after cancelling the bill. The entry is cash account debtor to Y. Here we are debiting it to cash because cash or asset balance is increasing, and crediting to Y because debtors or assets balance is decreasing. In Y's books, the entry is X debtor to cash account. Creditors are our liabilities. Liability balance is decreasing, so we debit it. And cash or asset balance is decreasing, so we credit it. Our next question is, on 1st March 2019, R accepted a bill of exchange of 20,000 from S payable 3 months after date in full settlement of his dues. On the same day, S endorsed the bill of exchange to T together with a check for 5,000 in settlement of his debt to the latter. On 2nd March 2019, T discounted the bill of exchange at 6% per annum with his bank. On maturity, the bill of exchange was dishonored. Journalize the transactions in the books of R and T. Question states that R accepted a bill of exchange of 20,000 from S and payable after 3 months. So R is the drawee and S is the drawer here. Later on the same day, S endorsed the bill of exchange to T. So T becomes the endorsee here. We are asked to journalize the entries in the books of R and T, that is in the drawee and endorsee books. In the question, directly they have given the acceptance, that is R accepted the bill of exchange from S payable after 3 months. They have not mentioned the credit sale entry. So the entry in R's books is S debtor to bills payable account and the amount is 20,000. Here we are making the entry in the books of R, that is in the drawee's books. They have not asked us to make any entry in S or drawer's books. So there won't be any entry for bills receivable. Question says, on the same day, S endorsed the bill of exchange to T together with a check for 5,000. Here, drawer S has endorsed it to T. Drawee R is not involved in this transaction. So, there won't be any entry in R's books. The entry in T books is bank account debtor, bills receivable account debtor to S. Here S has to pay 25,000 to T. Out of 25,000, he has given a check of 5,000 and for remaining 20,000, he has given bills receivable. For bank account, amount is 5,000. For bills receivable account, amount is 20,000. And to S, it is 25,000. Question says, later on the 2nd March 2019, T discounted the bill of exchange at 6% per annum with the bank. Bill was drawn and accepted on 1st March. Next day, T discounted the bill at 6% with the bank. Discounting charges will be 20,000 into 6 by 100 into 3 by 12, which comes to 300. The entry in T's books is bank account debtor, discounting charges account debtor to bills receivable account. Here, discounting charges are expenses. Whenever expenses increase, we debit it. For bank account, amount is 19,700. That is 20,000 minus 300 comes to 19,700. For discounting charges, the amount is 300. And for bills receivable account, amount is 20,000. There won't be any entry in the R's books because R will pay the amount on the due date. Later on maturity, the bill of exchange was dishonored, and also they haven't mentioned anything about the noting charges. When the bill is dishonored, we have to reverse the acceptance entry. So the entry in the R's book is bills payable account debtor to S. Amount is 20,000. In T's book, entry is S debtor to bank account and the amount is 20,000. T has already discounted the bill from the bank. That means T has already received the bill amount from the bank. On the due date, bank will approach R for the payment because R is the drawee and drawee is supposed to pay the money to bank. Now R has refused to pay the bill amount and the bill got dishonored. Now T has to return back the bill amount which he has received or discounted from the bank earlier. So we will credit the bank account. Since the bill is endorsed by S to T, S is liable or responsible to pay the bill amount to T. So S becomes the debtor. We can understand this entry in another way. When the bill is dishonored, we reverse the first entry. The first entry is bills receivable account debtor to S account. The reverse entry is S debtor to bills receivable account. But here we are not crediting to bills receivable account because T has already discounted the bill from bank and now the bill is dishonored. So T has to pay the money back to bank. So we need to credit the bank account instead of bills receivable account. Our next question is, a bill for 1,000 is drawn by A on B and accepted by later payable at the New Delhi Bank of India. Show what entries should be passed in the books of A under each of the following circumstances. The first circumstance is if A retained the bill till the due date and then realized it on maturity. And second circumstance is if A discounted it with his bank for 950. Third circumstance is if A endorsed it to his creditor C in full settlement of his debt. Last circumstance is if A sent it to his bank for collection. Also give the necessary entries in each of the cases if the bill is dishonored. First we will write the entries when the bill is not dishonored. Then we will write the entries when the bill is dishonored. Here a bill of 1,000 is drawn by A on B. That means A is the drawer and B is the drawee. In the question, they are asking us to pass the entries only in the books of A. That means only in drawer books. In the question, it's clearly mentioned that a bill for 1,000 is drawn by A on B and accepted by later, which means B has accepted the bill. We don't have to write the credit sale entry. We can directly write the acceptance entry. So the first entry is bills receivable account debtor to B. Now as per the circumstances we will pass the entries. Our first one is if A retained the bill till due date and then realized it on maturity. Entry for this is bank account debtor to bills receivable account. Here we are debiting bank instead of cash because in the question it says payable at New Delhi Bank of India. Second circumstance is if A discounted it with his bank for 950. Here they haven't given the discount percentage. They have directly given the discounted amount, that is 950. The bill value is 1,000 but the bank has credited drawer's account only with 950. So 50 is the discounting charges. The journal entry is bank account debtor, discounting charges account debtor to bills receivable account. Amount for bank is 950. discounting charges is 50 and bills receivable is 1000. Our third circumstance is if A endorsed it to his creditor C in full settlement of his debt. The journal entry for this is C debtor to bills receivable account. Our fourth circumstance is if A sent to his bank for collection. In this case, the entry is bills sent for collection account debtor to bills receivable account. Now we will write the entries when the bill is dishonored. For the first circumstances, that is when the bill is retained till due date and then got dishonored, as usual when the bill is dishonored, we need to reverse the acceptance entry. That is B debtor to bills receivable account. Amount is 1000. For the second circumstance, that is when A discounted it with the bank 950 and the bill got dishonored on the due date, the entry is B debtor to bank account. Here when the bill is dishonored, A has to pay the money back to bank. So we are crediting bank account and we are debiting to B because we will collect the bill amount from B. B is drawee or acceptor. For third circumstance, that is A endorsed it to his creditor C in full settlement of his debt and bill got dishonored. The entry is acceptor's account debtor to endorsee account. That is B debtor to C. Here B is acceptor or drawee, C is endorsee. For fourth circumstance, that is when A sent it to bank for collection and then got dishonored, the entry is acceptor's account debtor to bill sent for collection account, which is B debtor to bill sent for collection account. If we notice, in all the dishonored entries, we are debiting it to acceptor or drawee, that is B, in A's books because we need to receive the bill amount from B. So only we are debiting to B in all dishonored entries. Hope you guys have understood all the problems that we have solved today. If you guys have any questions related to these problems, please don't hesitate to post them in the comment section below. And also, if you guys like the explanation or if you think this video is helpful to you guys, do not forget to click on the subscribe button. Thanks a lot for watching this video.